through all your great experiences. You also a big fan of East Chicago Central program still as well. And so, as you know, we have the best of the best topics.
Right.
Start off with football first, and we're going to go with best quarterback.
Best quarterback. Okay, so I pay attention to what's going on. There's like some good guys I actually never got a chance to see, like the Frazier kid that I've been hearing a lot about, and there's a couple other guys that played that I didn't get a chance to see. So I hope that you don't take this as a slight or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure you guys put up great numbers. I know you did. But as far as like the ones that I've actually seen or played with would be, quarterback Eric Irvin, because of the fact that the guy had a cannon arm. I mean, he was accurate. I mean, he could run, he could scramble, he can get out of it. I mean, I wish he would have threw me more balls, but I mean,
yeah.
But that's just being a receiver. But as far as talent is concerned, the guy was just raw. I mean, if he would have been somebody that they could have actually helped him through school and say, okay, get him to a college program, we'd have been talking about him in the NFL, because he would have put on some more weight. I mean, he was 6'2". He could have been an NFL quarterback, I think.
Running back.
Running back, I would say Martell France. Guy put up extraordinary numbers. Really, really great runner, great vision. I love the way he carried the ball. When nothing was there, he would find that crease and get to the outside, or he'll run somebody over. So Martell, hands down, is the best running back that I've seen, play at Central. Now, there's some couple of other good ones. I mean, that guy Martavius Carter that's there right now, that's a senior. He's really good too. But as of we standing right now, I would say P.
Fullback.
Fullback, I didn't see a lot of fullbacks playing. I mean, the only ones that I'm really aware of would be Royce Love. I hear that Carl Biddings is a great fullback in his own right, and I'd love to get him props. So if I could say you guys are tied, I would say you and Royce would be the top fullbacks of Central of all time.
Appreciate it. Wide receiver.
Wide receiver, well, I put a question mark up for that, because when I'm watching the games, I'm trying to see who out there has that it factor at receiver. And there's some guys, there's some great guys that played after me. And I wouldn't even say that I was the best wide receiver of all time, because I didn't put up numbers like these other guys did. I mean, I probably could have. I mean, even my cousin Antoine Kennedy, great, big size, big receiver. He was playing with injuries though. I mean. But if he could have stayed healthy, he probably would have been the best wide receiver. So I don't know if do I get a pass on this? Or
no.
Do I have to use something?
No.
So, all right. Well, let's see here. Let's say I'm the greatest receiver of all time. How about that? I'm being a receiver. Hey.
Yeah, I was going to say that, because pretty much all the wide receivers throughout Central history have the same problem. Running the ball, not enough touches.
Right.
And so with your numbers, seeing like your senior year, 20 catches, but you had over 450 yards. You catching the ball 20 yards a pop.
Right. Yeah.
And those are good numbers.
I was known. I wasn't the fastest guy out there. I always prided myself in running the right routes. Because if you ran the right route, the D-back doesn't know where you're going. You know where you're going. If the quarterback gets you the ball, you can either be wide open or the ball's going to be right there and you make a play. I mean, first downs. I mean, the average of 20 yards a catch. I mean, you can't beat that.
Exactly. Tight end.
Tight end. I don't remember too much about play at tight end. I know I played with Debry Coleman. He was pretty good at tight end. Kimber Fry was a real good tight end also. So I would probably say Kimber as far as catching ability, because I believe Kimber probably played on a college level also, if I'm not mistaken. Because after I left school, first couple of years I didn't know where the guys went, but I think that
Kimber Fry went to Moreno Valley.
Okay, so yeah. And I mean, Debry was a good inline tight end. I mean, he was good at blocking. He actually played both ways, but I would give Kimber, as far as the pass catching tight end, it would be Kimber.
Okay. Offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman, the best one. You talking about just across the board, right?
Across the board.
The best offensive lineman would probably be Rob Smith, going to the big guy in Nebraska. Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defensive lineman.
Defensive lineman, I would say Alf Robertson. Alf Robertson.
Yeah.
Alf was a beast. I
Yeah.
mean, he was dirty. He was a dirty dog down in those trenches on defense. I mean, he played both ends of the ball too. So, but he brought it all the time. I mean, he would get in, and make big plays for us. And like I said, the guys that played after us, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of. I mean, Keywan Short. I mean, he probably would be the best one, when it's all said and done. Considering that, draft pick for the Carolina Panthers. But, from what I played with, I would say Alf would be the best. Linebacker. I'm going to steal this pick from my homeboy Anthony Haspart. That we actually played with this guy, Dennis Navosky. This guy Dennis, I mean, he was probably maybe 5'7", maybe 180 pounds, but this guy brought it. I mean, this is a dude that when we played against Bishop No, he broke his helmet on rusty sets coming through the middle. I mean, then he continued to play. They had to get the guy another helmet and was still bringing it. I mean, I think his senior year he had 80 tackles. I think he got middle linebacker. He made all the calls for us. I mean, my cousin A.D. Knowles was a great linebacker also. I mean, you look at the size. Big Cheese had everything too. But as far as like, playing, I played 2 years with Dennis. I played 1 year with my cousin A.D. And so I had to give Dennis the nod.
DB.
Defensive back, hands down, would be Damon Glenn. Damon, super fast. University of Wisconsin scholarship athlete. We went against each other a lot, and hopefully practicing against each other made him a better defensive back, because I felt that at practice nobody could ever, or when I was on the field, I think nobody could check me. But I mean, he was always out there, making plays on the ball. And another shout out to, I'll probably give the shout out to would be Corey Battle, which, is my cousin. But, the funny thing about C-Boy is that he only played football 1 year. And he's a basketball player, but he came out for his senior year and, never gave up a touchdown. I think until maybe, the last game of the season. I mean, but, he was our shutdown. He was our Dion at the time. He wore number 20.
Yeah.
But he had the swag like Dion, because he would be like, we'll be in the huddle. Well, I played defense sparingly. I used to play both ways, but my senior year I didn't play that much defense because we had a lot of athletes. But when they was in the huddle on defense, C-Boy was never in the huddle. It was like he had his own things. Like I'm gonna check this guy one-on-one. Y'all running cover 2, whatever y'all doing. Y'all blitzing. I'm shut down this guy. So
wow.
C-Boy is like a 1A, but Dave McGlynn, considering the fact that he put in big numbers. Had a great career in high school, and was a scholarship athlete in Wisconsin. I'll give him a nod.
Specialist.
This may be a little controversial. It is a little biased, because I would say that my brother Andre Dowdell is probably the best specialist to play at EC Central. And the reason why I say that is because my brother played special teams when he was on kick return. Majority of the time, I don't know what his average was on his kickoff returns, but I remember going to a couple of games when I came back home. I would see him bust a big one. And I remember going to one game where we came late, and Central got the kickoff, and when we were actually walking into the stadium, my brother was running for a touchdown. I mean, he had that kind of skill, and I wish he would have just kept with football, and I could have been like, yeah, that's my brother, doing big things at Grand Valley State, but it didn't happen. But I would say that my brother Andre Dowdell was the best specialist at Central for the limited amount of touches that he had.
Best player, regardless of position, ever at Central.
Ever all time, I would say Martell France. This guy, I mean, you're gonna probably see it in a different interview on him as far as the greatest that never was. I mean, this guy should have been, first round draft pick, on somebody's NFL team. We should have been able to say, yeah, I remember Ping when when he was a little kid, and he played, a couple years in the NFL or whatever. But he is the best because he put up the most numbers. I think, with the limited amount of time that he played. Yeah. Plus, I mean, his impact on football, when he actually played. I mean, his impact was, I don't think anybody had the great impact like he had. You're talking about a guy that's scoring, maybe 6, 7 touchdowns and a half. That's unheard of. I mean, that's Madden type stuff. So I mean, I would give the nod to Penny. I mean, if he's the best running back, EC Central is known for running the ball. Therefore, Martell France is the best player of all time.